You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show. It's brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman, and joining us in this segment, we have Vice President of the Christian County Genealogical Society, Vonna Crowder. Vonna, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning.
Vonna, great to have you here in studio today at a good time to catch you here as well, because coming up, we've got a few things we definitely want to talk about. But first, we want to talk about closing out the year. I want to leave it to you from there, but how is closing out the year going? What did we have over the course of the year that you want to share? What can you tell us?
We had several programs, as usual. We had a family research day. We had other programs where people can come out. We had a lot of people that had wanted some research that we helped with. We have had a slate of officers, and a couple of them have changed. One of our longtime charter members has decided to retire, and so we surely miss Shirley Dilly. And we have another one that has taken her place, and he's just doing a fantastic job as the genealogist and helping people with their research. A lot of people are writing in and asking if we can help them find some stuff. We do have one other thing before the end of the year, and that's tomorrow, and it's Giving Tuesday. So we have a Giving Tuesday page on our website. You can donate $5, $10, as much as you want. We don't really care. We'd just like to make sure that we can get a little out of the red at the end of the year. And this is our last big donation for the year.
Okay. Last big effort for the year, Giving Tuesday. You said it's on the website that you can make that donation.
On our website.
Okay, perfect. And you mentioned that slate of officers kind of changing there. You said Shirley Dilly has now been replaced with the new genealogist. What can you tell us there?
He was a director. It's Randy Bingham, and he was a director, and now he's also going to step in and be a genealogist for us.
Okay, so goes from, is going to have kind of a tandem role almost.
Yes, he is. He's still a director.
Okay.
But he's also going to have a position now on the board and be a genealogist for us.
Okay. What does that take anything to be a genealogist? Is there anything in particular, or is it just like a commitment that it requires?
It's a commitment that required. We get a lot of emails. Of course, the Historical Society get a lot of people that call there not knowing the difference between historical and genealogy. And they send it to us, and we try to help them in any way we can. I know he just finished a big program of someone wanting some history on a building, so he had helped with that. We'd helped a couple other people that had done businesses, and we'd got some wonderful donations this year. We want to thank all the people that gave us, all the businesses and people that gave us donations this year, because that's what we are. We don't make any extra money, and that's where we get our main money for the year to function for the year.
Sure. And got to have it. And that's why Giving Tuesday coming up as of tomorrow is that much more important. You also mentioned that Family Research Day. I think the coolest part is how you guys kind of go about finding that. So I come to you, I say, here's my last name. Here's what I kind of want to know. And you guys go through the records. It's
Correct.
Not like we're doing. Tell us a little bit about that Family Research Day. Is there another plan for something similar next year even?
Oh, yes. We will have another one next year.
Okay.
Some of them one of them just wanted to know if his family was in the military, that he'd heard that story. One of them was wanting to know if there was he lived in, he'd send us an email, and he'd lived in another state. And he said he'd heard that one of his relatives was a porter that had land in Mount Auburn, and he wanted to know where that land was. So we looked it all up on the plat map for him and helped him with that. He was hoping that there was still some land there in the porter name. However, there wasn't.
Yeah.
But we found it all in newspaper clippings and tax lists and helped him.
And that's what I think is so cool, is how you guys go about generating all that research and finding it through the various ways, and that being a big way of it. In terms of closing out the year, what anything else that you can tell us about 2025 as it comes to a close?
Let's see. Not really. I mean, we're always out there. We have a volunteer every Saturday at our library. We've moved a lot of stuff around and redone a lot of the library. We have some great new books and other items that are coming in. Okay. There's quite a few scrapbooks that have been coming in lately from people. And we get them on the shelf as soon as we can. We've been a little inundated with them lately, so it's taken us a while because we only have one person to categorize it all and get it onto our shelf. But you can find all kinds of newspaper articles in people's scrapbooks. It's amazing what people save in a scrapbook.
I was going to say, I was trying to think about it, like obviously you think about family pictures or things like that. And of course that's worth documenting or keeping on the backlog there. But then the other things too, that could come about, like if your family's featured in a newspaper article, now you want to clip that and throw that in there too. So
correct.
Did not even really think about the scrapbook having more than just the pictures to it as well. So that's a look at 2025 and how the year went. One last thing I had for you in terms of 2025. I know with that persimmon party, you guys were serving Gene Callan's famous barbecue.
We did.
How did that go?
It went wonderful. It was a really great turnout.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Now I know you guys were kind of serving food until you ran out. It sounded like you guys were pretty close to doing so, or did.
We did not run out this year,
Okay.
but we bought extra.
Oh,
because they were having a car club at the Historical Society also. And so we punched up our amount of meat and we had just enough. It was just great.
good. Well, I'm glad you got the extra then. That was needed. And certainly that those funds were raised there. So that's a look at 2025. Now, maybe turning the attention to 2026. I'm wondering, what can you tell us first and foremost about what to expect from 2026?
Well, from a historical standpoint, 2026 is the 250th year of America. So because of that, we are looking at starting a new program. Christian County, for people not aware, has one person that served in the Revolutionary War that is buried in Christian County. As a matter of fact, it's not very far from here. His name was Jonathan Hinkland. And so we're going to try to open with him and then have a program where we can honor all the veterans that lived, died, or are buried in Illinois.
Wow.
For instance, if you knew one of your relatives, I mean, obviously it's not going to be a Revolutionary War because we know that one, but maybe you had one that was in World War I, your father was there, and fill out the application form and pay the fee, and he can have a certificate in his name to honor him as being from Christian County and a veteran.
Well, that is really cool. Jonathan Hinkland, the Revolutionary War veteran.
Correct.
How the heck do you make your way from the East Coast all the way here? And I'm assuming he lived a little while afterwards.
There are amazingly amount of people in Illinois that were in the Revolutionary War. We just happen to have one here in Christian County. But yeah, there are many, because they got land grants from working from being in the Revolutionary War as a soldier, or even they could have gave aid. They could have fed their corn to some of the animals and the horses, or, it's hard saying what they did, but they also got acknowledged for giving aid. And so then they ended up with a pension or land grants, and they came farther west.
And slowly
how the West was settled.
Sure. Slowly started to claim their deal. Now, I knew that was the case with the Civil War, that a lot of land grants were then applied for and then given out, but I did not realize that was a thing in the Revolutionary War too.
Yes.
Okay.
Most of them just came because they had a pension and it was crowded and they wanted to come farther
They
west.
wanted their space. Do you know roughly how big that land grant that was given out? Was it something like 40-acre patch?
I don't know.
Don't know?
Yeah.
Off the top of your head?
I don't know specifically. Most of them got land grants for that farther east,
Mhm.
and then stayed there for a while, and they were like, no, not happy. And they wanted to just, some people just have a traveling bug and don't want to stay in civilization.
Well, and that probably was more of a bug during that time as well. So you're thinking a new program to honor veterans as of next year. Is that something that we can start getting in contact with you like right near the beginning of the year? Or is that something where we'll kind of put out some information on?
I was just trying to put out the information on. We have a meeting this coming Saturday, as a matter of fact, and we are not quite sure what we're going to call the program. We have a couple of ideas. We'll have to vote on it to see what we want to name it. However, it just sounds like a great thing, but they can get all their stuff together and get it ready. We will be closed the month of January, as the Historical Society is. So we reopen in February. So come February 1st, we're ready to, or you could email it to us, but come February 1st, we're ready.
Ready to roll. I like the sound of that. And very cool. Just thinking about America having been around for 250 years.
250 years.
And then you think about that in the world scope and you're like, wow,
Correct.
that is such a little little dot
Correct,
almost.
as opposed to other countries.
Yes, and but 250 years coming up in 2026. I think honoring veterans a very great way of kind of bringing in that new year, and I'm sure you'll have other thoughts and plans that come about as well. But Vonna, let's take ourselves a break. We're joined by Vonna Crowder, Vice President of the Christian County Genealogical Society, here on the WTIM Morning Show. You're listening to your information station. It's brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. We'll be right back around with Vonna in just one moment.
Your information station. WTIM.
The Lady Tornado basketball team are on 96.5 thechill.com again this season. Listen on air or online for Lady Tornado basketball and playoff games, brought to you by the Taylorville Community Credit Union, the Christian County YMCA, Rural Rentals, and Scooters Coffee.
The purple and gold are coming your way. The Taylorville Tornadoes are going to do it today.
Sock the halls.
Isn't that supposed to be deck the halls?
No, Troy, we're socking the halls at Jansen's Heating and Air.
Ah, because it's time for...
Socks for seniors.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
The time when fine folks from far and wide drop off new warm, fuzzy, and funny socks at Jansen's Heating and Air.
We then deliver these festive foot warmers to our elderly friends and neighbors at local assisted care facilities.
A new pair of colorful, comfy, cozy socks may not seem like much,
but they brighten the season for seniors spending the holidays away from home and family.
In other words, these socks really slay.
The drop-off deadline is Friday, December 19th.
Donate new pairs of tinsel-toed holiday socks during regular business hours at Jansen's on West 40 in Effingham.
Or give them to your Jansen's tech during a service call and get $5 off your bill.
Ugh, these socks I'm wearing are too tight.
They are?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little claustrophobic.
JansensHeating.com.
Ah, winter, and now we hibernate and spend most of our time at home. It's actually the perfect time of year to go gift yourself a new bed from Just Beds. This month, bundle and save up to $300 on Posturepedic Select adjustable mattress sets for a limited time only. You deserve to go gift yourself this holiday season, and happy holidays from the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds.
Just Beds.
Brandy Bruley here, Superintendent of Taylorville, inviting you to find out the great things happening in our district. Tune in on air or online to the WTIM Morning Show the first Thursday of the month at 8:40 when we present our monthly Good News segment. From academics to the arts to athletics and more, we'll focus on how we achieve student success every month. Tune in on air or online when the WTIM Morning Show presents the Taylorville School District Good News segment the first Thursday of each month at 8:40. And go Tornadoes.
Taylorville Care Center's personalized therapy program helps you get back to enjoying the season. Whether it's holiday gatherings or winter walks with the grandkids, they'll get you moving again. Click their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Brandy Bruley here, Superintendent of Taylorville Schools. We're proud to be A+ in academics, the arts, and achievement. Find out the many ways we achieve student success every day by clicking our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and go Tornadoes.
Your information station, WTIM.
And we're back with the WTIM Morning Show here on your information station, and brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining us, we have Vonna Crowder, Vice President of the Christian County Genealogical Society. We talked a recap of 2025, a change in officers and some of the board, as well as Giving Tuesday coming up as of tomorrow. That and donations available on their website, a persimmon party recap, and more. And Vonna, we still want to talk about what we are expecting in 2026. The other thing coming up for you guys is access to digitized newspapers. I got to know more about this. What's going on there?
Correct. We have always had newspapers of the Breeze Courier, Morrisonville. I think there's an Edinburgh, maybe, on microfilm. However, you have to know, either look through the whole reel of microfilm or know a date that you want to look for something, which is a little time consuming. Now we have access to it digitized starting in February when we open. And you can just go in and search by name and see if there is a newspaper that has something in there, clear up into even, some 1950s. You could go find your parents' marriage vows that was in the newspaper with the pictures, or, it's hard to say what you're going to look for, but an obituary. The stuff in newspapers are kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
It was Henry Miller's hog got out, and because I've seen some of them, and it was running through the Taylorville Square. There are some of those. So
there's got to be some interesting things to be able to find. My question to you is, how much easier is it for you? Because you mentioned microfilm taking quite a bit of time, and I can imagine it does. How much easier is it for you guys now to just find that information too?
Oh, it's going to be like night and day. We're just so excited to have access to it because I've used it forever. I have had access to that program, but now we will have it at the society under their name. So you can come in, and we have 2 computers. We have a laptop. I mean, there shouldn't be that many people that you can't somehow get on one of the computers or the laptops and have access to it. And we can show you how to get on, and we can show you how to do anything you need to do with researching your family and your tree.
How cool. Because considering, having to need a date to now, like, let me just throw in a name and see how many dates come up. That's a big difference.
And if you've ever seen the old newspapers, they're horrendous. It'll be a line of such and such went to church, and then the next one will be for sale, bloomers at 50 cents. And then the next line will be somebody's hog got loose. And I mean, it's really hard to read in old newspapers. They're not categorized in sections of obituaries in one section or the news in another like they are now.
Interesting. So they just kind of it's the news.
It's just printed as it came in, I think. I'm not sure, but I think they just printed a line, whatever came in and fit.
The news guy just was like, we're just, it's got to go on the docket somewhere. Okay. I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Making that much more difficult for you, because I consider if obituaries is all laid out right there,
it'd
make it a whole lot easier.
You might just have some little line somewhere.
So it could be easily lost if you're not really looking for it.
Correct.
Okay.
So now you can find it by name.
And does it just like highlight that name and then you just go right to that section? Is that
you would put in that name, and then there'll be more than one, and then you have to kind of get it down to what area you're looking for, which would be Taylorville. And then you never know, there might be more than one mention of your family in the newspaper.
I can imagine. So that much easier as of next year, February 1st, when we reopen for the Christian County Genealogical Society. Anything else when it comes to those digitized newspapers and what it might do for you?
Our first day open, I thought I'd tell you though, but our first day open will be a Saturday because that's when we have a volunteer. So that would be the 7th.
The 7th.
Yes.
Okay. So on the 7th, February 7th is when we will be in-house. And then with that, we've got a few extra computers as well ready for you to be able to find those things out. And man, it just sounds so much easier for you on your end too,
Correct.
But also for the people that want to be finding some things out. So when it comes to those digitized newspapers, that's not the only thing. You had some extra yearbooks you wanted to mention too.
We have quite a few of the Drift yearbooks. A lot of them from 1940s to 1980s. I'm not going to go through every single one of the years that we have, but we have a lot of the early ones too, because people don't know who's in them and they bring them out and donate them. But we have 1940s to 1980s Taylorville Drift, and we have from like 1937 to 1961 some of the Morrisonville, I think it was called Mohawks, and we have a few from the Mount Auburn area. It was called the Minois, and we have some from 1960s and one 1971.
Really? Okay. So some extra yearbooks on hand as well. Giving Day, I want to make one more mention of that on your website. Make that donation there for Giving Tuesday, which will be coming up as of tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay. Vonna, thank you so much for your time here today.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the radio station and all they do for us.
Well, thank you for joining us here today. Vonna Crowder, Vice President of the Christian County Genealogical Society, joining us here on the WTIM Morning Show.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville. 96.1 FM Taylorville. 107.5 FM Shelbyville. 107.9 FM Pena Nokomis.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm at